Hey there, comic book community. My name is Joe, and you're watching 360 Comics. Over the weekend, I hit up as many yard sales as I possibly could find, and quite honestly, I struck out at a slew of them, but I eventually came across a larger community yard sale at which I found some incredible books for jaw-dropping prices, including some bigger Bronze Age keys. Stay tuned for that. As of this morning, we have hit our milestone of 7,000 followers over on Instagram, and it's now time to give away this book right here, Batman 429. If you haven't entered this giveaway yet, now is your last chance to do so, and look out on Instagram over the next few days. I'll be announcing when the live drawing is going to be for this book, so stay tuned. And then it's going to be time to announce the big giveaway here on YouTube. 2,000 subscribers. It's going to be something good. I haven't decided what the prize is yet, but look out for that. And make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you're eligible to win. Like I said, I struck out at the first couple yard sales, most of which had no comic books at all, but that wasn't as disappointing as this because I saw comic books. Unfortunately, they were all junk. They were free comic book day books with stickers on them. Definitely don't do that. Eventually, I made it over to this community yard sale, and this was pretty cool. It was in a sectioned off part of a parking lot at a community park, and I guess you could rent out a little bit of space there and sell your own yard sale goods, or there were bigger plots that had room for small businesses, kind of the things that you would normally see at flea markets. And fortunately, there were a couple people with comic books. This guy had a bunch of stuff from the 90s, which wasn't too expensive. I did pick up a small pile of keys for $20 in total when I bundled it together, including this book right here, first appearance of Antivision, one that I have a couple copies of already. And, of course, this Warlock key, a nice newsstand. The best thing about this guy is that he said he had a bunch of Hulk books from the 70s and 80s at home, and he might be willing to get rid of them, so we exchanged numbers, and hopefully we'll hear back another story from that guy. Finally, I made it over to this table, which had some serious gold. These were two bins of modern comic books for $1 a piece, and they had already been picked through a little bit. I'll mention that later, but there were still some serious keys in here that I found and picked up for just $1, and there was even some Bronze Age stuff that was priced, so we'll get to that in just a bit. This next group of books were all rescued from these bins for $1 a piece, and there are some pretty nice modern age keys in here. First, we got Captain America number 16 from the Ed Brubaker run. It's the first appearance of Cynthia Schmidt, aka Sin, who is the daughter of the Red Skull. Now, not only is this a important character in a really important modern age run, but it's also a character that's been speculated upon for the MCU. A lot of people think that she might show up in Captain America 4, which is slated to come out at some point, featuring the new Captain America Falcon, aka Sam Wilson, taking on the Shield. Next up, we've got Punisher number 31. This is from the Max run, and this is the first appearance of Barracuda. Really, really awesome cover. In fact, this whole run has awesome covers. It's pretty underappreciated, in my opinion, and most of them are pretty cheap books that you can pick up. This is one of the only bigger keys in this run. Then we've got Batman Adventures number 7. This is still polybagged with the Man-Bat card. For $1, had to pick this one up for the personal collection. Then we've got Captain America, the 65th anniversary edition right here. And I believe, if I remember correctly, this was written by Stan Lee. Maybe not. Maybe I'm imagining that. But nonetheless, really awesome Cap book. It's a milestone anniversary edition and a great cover as well. Then we've got another variant cover here. We got Wolverine Origins number 1. And this is the first ongoing Wolverine Origins run, not the miniseries, not that 6-issue one that came out first. And this is just a variant cover. Looks super awesome with his claws going over the trade dress. Then we've got Annihilation number 1. This is from the 6-issue Cosmic miniseries event, and really awesome cover, and just the start of that storyline. If you never read this one, it's definitely a good one to dive into if you're into the more cosmic side of the Marvel Universe. Then we've got 52, number 7. And these next 3 books all have a little bit of a connection. This is the first appearance of Kate Kane, not in the Batwoman costume, just her own appearance as herself. And I would consider this one a cameo, this kind of being her first cameo. Then on to number 9. This is her second cameo appearance. And then finally, she is fully revealed on the cover and inside as Batwoman in issue 11. And this is, her first appearance. She's right on the cover. This is the money book of those 3, the one that's worth significantly more than the other 2. And even though her show was just canceled on CW, a show that I really didn't watch myself, I still think this book is going to hold some pretty decent value because she's a pretty monumental character in the Batman world. Then we've got Miss Marvel, number 1. This is from Volume 2, and I actually didn't know that there was such a gap between Volume 1 and Volume 2, but Volume 1 came out back in the 70s. This one didn't come out until the early 2000s, and it's got this phenomenal cover here, and for that reason is a pretty sought-after book, despite it not having any first appearances or anything like that. This next one definitely has ties to what we're seeing happen in the MCU now. We got Illuminati number 1. This is the first Illuminati limited series. It's got them all pictured on the front, which is great. And, we've now officially confirmed that that's who we see in the Multiverse of Madness trailer. They did use the word Illuminati to describe this group of people that Doctor Strange is going in front of in the most recent trailer. And the movie comes out tomorrow, and I'm so excited to see it. I'm going to pop these books down here for a second, and we'll get on to the next stuff. This is a classic Greg Horn cover on She-Hulk number 5. If you're into the kind of good girl art kind of stuff, this might be something that, you would pick up. And, not really my thing, but it's definitely a great cover nonetheless. Same with this next one, the very next issue, number 6. And this is a little bit more controversial of a cover as, Star Fox is going on trial right now for using his powers in an unsavory way. We'll just put it like that. And this is a character that is also coming to the MCU soon. He kind of has appeared in cameo and credit scene, but we'll see what the future of Star Fox Eros is going forward. Then we've got Teen Titans number 37. This is the first appearance of Miss Martian. I believe it's a cameo appearance, but a great cover as well. And then the next 2 issues are also keys. Number 38. This is the first cameo appearance of a ton of different characters, including Tim Drake as Talon in the future. I thought that was pretty cool. This is possibly a good spec book. Since there's so many different first appearances, you only have to hit the nail on the head once for it to spike in value, and it's a pretty affordable book. And then we got number 39. This is the first full appearance of Miss Martian, and a pretty cool cover as well. Then we're back to Marvel. We've got some Amazing Spider-Man issue 529. This is the first appearance of the Iron Spider armor. We saw it in the MCU already, and it's just a classic, suit of Spider-Man's. He's had many over the years. This is probably the most memorable, if not one of the most memorable of his special suits that he ends up with. This one and kind of like the MK1 are the 2 that come to mind when I think of his other suits, but who knows? Maybe we'll see it again. Then we got Young Avengers number 10, and I actually, when I pulled this out, I thought this was the first cover appearance of Kate Bishop in the Hawkeye suit, which is a pretty good book, probably about a $15 book. That actually is either 1 or 2 issues before this one. This is the first appearance of Tommy, the son of Scarlet Witch, as an adult, and he takes on the role of Speed in this. Maybe not as an adult. He might be a teenager in this one. I forget. But yeah, he eventually becomes Speed, and his first appearance at that age, grown up, either teenager or an adult, I forget, is in this book. And given that the character exists in some form of the MCU and might end up sticking around, and it does seem like they're putting together a Young Avengers team, I think it would be great to include Billy and Tommy on that team, which would spike a lot of these books even more than they already have spiked. Next up, could not believe this was in the bin because I saw a guy pick up the first appearance of Damian Wayne, the red cover. It's really his first cameo, 655. Well, he left this behind. This is the first cameo of Damian Wayne, but it's the 1 in 10 variant. It's in my opinion, a worse cover, but a more expensive book because it is the 1 in 10 variant. And I was extremely surprised that the person who picked this one up did not pick up who picked the other one up did not pick up this one. And I also want to say, I did see some of the other stuff he pulled out, and he got a Boys #1 out of this box. So this box was picked through a little bit before I even got there. Wish I had gotten that Boys #1, but clearly I've got some great stuff here. In addition to the first cameo, there was cover A of the first full appearance of Damian Wayne, and also the first cover appearance of Damian Wayne, which is his third overall appearance. And I love this book, and I think this book is undervalued for sure because he's not on the cover of the first two. Moving on, these were the last of the books that I got for $1 out of those bins. But of course, what did I do? I asked the guy, hey, do you have any more comic books? Just in case. And guess what? In his car, he had a bag, a brown paper bag. He pulled it out and he put it on the table. He said, these are all comic books, but they're a little bit higher price. They're not $1. And they actually had prices marked on them. So for $5, I got the third appearance of the Hobgoblin, just a classic 80s Amazing Spider-Man cover as well. Really happy to have this book. And I have multiple copies, but I got to check. I think this one is higher grade than any of my other copies. So this one might end up in the personal collection. Marked at $15 was this really nice copy of Giant-Sized Defenders #1. And that, it's a tougher book to get in high grade because it's a square-bound book from the 1970s. But honestly, I think this one could be like an 8.0, maybe even 8.5. It's a good-looking book. Definitely one worth paying $15 for. These last two, though, are the big ones, and they were also $15 a piece. We've got a book that has cooled down significantly, in fact, plummeted in price. Eternals #1. This was selling for, raw copies were selling for a few $100s at one point before the movie came out. The movie did not do so well, didn't have as good a reception as they thought it would. And the price of this book tanked, honestly, probably tanked heavier than I've ever seen a Bronze Age book tank before. If you compare it to Morbius, that's still an ASM book. It's still an ASM villain, all that stuff. Still Stan Lee story. There's still a lot of value in that book outside of the movie. The Eternals didn't really have as much of a floor to stand on, not as strong of a foundation. So the price of this book plummeted. I got it for $15 though, and that is just without a doubt a steal. In the condition it's in, it's probably selling, for about $100. So I'm very happy to have picked that up for $15, but nothing compared to this last book. And what a perfect day for this video to fall on. I actually didn't plan this until this morning when I woke up and realized that it was May 4th. I did not realize, that this video was going to fall on this day. But in that collection that this guy had for $15, there was a Star Wars #1. The first appearance of a slew of characters, including Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, R2-D2, C-3PO, and then it's the first cover appearance of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Han Solo, who their first full appearance in the book is not until the next issue, but nonetheless, they're on the cover. This is just an absolutely insane find for $15. Star Wars has become extremely popular recently with the Disney acquisition and The Mandalorian, Book of Boba, all this stuff coming out. And, what better of a day? May 4th today. May the 4th be with you all. I could not believe that this was in there for so cheap. And I actually asked the guy, I said, you got some good books here. And he said, I tried to give these to my grandkids. I was going to give them to them for free. They didn't want them. So, they're yours. I'm glad you can appreciate them. And I was blown away. I thanked him. And, I said, I love collecting comic books. I love Star Wars. This is just absolutely amazing. And take a look. This is not the Whitman reprint. This is the first printing of this book. It's not one of the Whitmans or the reprints or anything like that. This is the real deal from 1977. It's not the 35-cent price variant, which is extremely expensive, but this is still a nice higher grade copy. I think this probably will get like an 8.0, 8.5, and I'm certainly going to slab this one up and unless I come across a higher grade one, I'm gonna keep this one in the personal collection. I got it for $15. I can't complain about that. Absolutely insane score for a community yard sale. Anyway, may the 4th be with you all. I hope you enjoyed this video, and give it a thumbs up for a like. Leave a comment down below, and if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, please do so, because we're gonna be announcing a big giveaway soon. And until next time, turn the page, wash your hands.